Hello and welcome to another stream in VR and another rainy day in the United Kingdom. This time we're at Leeds Bradford Airport. We're going to fly a short flight down to the west of England to Bristol, Echo Golf, Golf Delta. And once again we're in the Challenger 650 aircraft. As you can see, the weather is not great at all here in Leeds. In fact, it was exactly this kind of weather the other day here in the UK at Leeds Bradford, where a TUI aircraft ended up running off the runway and ended up in the grass. So it's a tricky airport at the best of times, so even the pros can get it wrong. But we're here at Leeds Bradford. We're departing here in about 15 minutes to Bristol, and we'll take you through here our things we're using in VR as we go along the line. Virtual reality. For those who have never used it before, it's quite a different way of experiencing flight simulators. You really do believe you're there. I have a pilot's license and have flown for many, many years. And it really is the closest thing that I've come to actually being in the real aircraft. It does take some getting used to, and particularly when streaming VR, it's quite challenging because getting things into the cockpit that you can actually see them, where ordinarily you'd have that on a screen. You just literally drag things onto screens on 2D. That's not possible in VR. You have to set up all kinds of complex programs and just pray that they work. So I'll go through some of those when we get a little bit closer to using them. So let's go down to the aircraft. She is on the tarmac at the multi-flight apron here at Leeds Bradford. That's where the business jets and the private aircraft operate from, as opposed to the main passenger terminal across the way. There's our Challenger 650, beautiful aircraft by Hotstart. My favourite plane of any I think I've ever used in any simulator in all the time I've been doing this, and that's more years than I care to remember. An outstanding job by Toto and Goran and his team. Absolutely brilliant. In fact, I'm sure many people just buy X-Plane just so they can fly this Challenger. It really is the most realistic I've ever come across, and you've got to watch yourself and know what you're doing. So no doubt we'll make a few mistakes along the way, but not everybody is perfect. Let's get in the cockpit. Okay, here we are in the cockpit of the Challenger, and the first thing I will do is show you a little walk around some of the goodies that we have in the cockpit. So over here is something that most people who use X-Plane are familiar with. That's VATSIM, which I'm delighted to say works beautifully in VR. And that's showing us the Navigraph charts, which again is a godsend to have in any flight simulator. Navigraph in X-Plane is only really accessible if you use the Avitab. There's no real way of getting them into the aircraft like the panel that you have in Flight Simulator, which is a shame actually. I wish they would do that. What else do we have? Over here we have SimBrief OFP. That's another great program that works beautifully in VR, where it pulls the SimBrief flight plan and allows you to have a look at that, and you can look at any of the pages as if you were looking at SimBrief itself. So that's really, really handy. There's our weather forecasts, our OFP, our trip details. You can download the PFD from here, all kinds of stuff, so rather good. So today we filed flight level 290. And there's our route, runway 32 at Leeds to runway 09 at Bristol. Down here are two absolutely wonderful things for VR. This is a program, one program running both of these, called Open Kneeboard. And that's a free program which allows you, it was originally designed for DCS, the military sim, for literally having things on your knee. But what's wonderful about it is that you can buy a quite cheap Wacom pad and pen and physically write on your pad, and it'll appear in VR. I've made this little page up here for briefing, so that's one great thing. So for example, I can take my pen, I'll show you here in VR. My pad is on my desk in front of me, and if I pick up the pen I can go to the pad and I can write stuff. So I can write test, for example, and I can rub that out as well by clicking a button on the pen. I can get rid of that just as simply. So absolutely brilliant. But the killer feature of this, apart from that in Open Kneeboard, is that you can bring external programs into VR, which is absolutely a godsend. So that's on my second knee pad. By the way, to bring these knee pads up, you just look at them basically. So I'm now looking at Sky Demon, which is an external app running. That's a real world program. I can cycle through the programs I want. There's my Restream chat. There is Chrome, my streaming PC, so I can make sure that all is well. That's my second PC. There's Navigraph charts if I wanted them in there. Just absolutely brilliant. Superb. That's absolutely invaluable to me as a VR pilot, because it enables me to bring stuff into the sim that I can never before. There's VAT glasses. For those who haven't used that, this is another good application. VATglasses.uk is the website for that, and that enables you to see your VATSIM aircraft and the controllers around you. And the brilliant thing is that it tracks your flight, so it will show you who you need to talk to depending on what altitude you happen to be at, which of course it knows because it's tracking your flight. So for example, if you look now, it says displaying sectors at 0 feet. That shows us that we're on the ground, and in Leeds there are no controllers at the moment, so we don't have to talk to anybody right now. So that's our kind of must-haves in VR. And as I said to you, it's a bit fiddly in VR, and streaming in VR is even more scary, because any one of these things can stop working any moment, and you've got your headset on, we'll have to take it off to sort it all out. There we are. This is another program here which I can show you close-ups of the displays. Another little VR program which moves you between two fixed points. Another great little feature. Okay, let's get this show on the road. We will start by programming our flight management computers, 3 in the Challenger, 1, 2 and 3. And let's start by changing the database. In fact, I'll zoom in on these so you can get a better view of them. So, database, move that over there. That's the correct database. POSINIT, don't absolutely need in the Challenger, but we can set it anyway. Then we can go to flight plan, and we can fetch the flight plan from SimBrief. So I type in my code number that I've told SimBrief to expect, which in this case is 650. I put that, I beg your pardon, I'm not on the right page here, 1 second. Index, route menu, that's where we should be, and we'll go flight plan recall. So 650, put that up there, and then hit send. That then goes off to SimBrief, fetches that flight plan, and brings it back for us, which is very nice indeed. Until about a week ago, we could get the weather from our FMCs here on the data link. We could go and find a weather report. At the moment, it's not working. NOAA, the American weather providers, have done something to their weather feed, and it's broken quite a few things in the sim world. So I can't imagine they'll be rushing to fix that. So hopefully Toto will be able to fix that for the Challenger. So we have no weather as such from there. And with VATSIM, if you've got no controllers online, you don't usually able to get an ATIS unless there's a center controller. So if I put in, ordinarily you could type in just the name of the airport and you'd get an ATIS from the controller, but I don't think I'm going to get one because there's no controller. So that will come back, I would guess, with no ATIS. Received, yeah, ATIS not available, which is what we would have expected. So that's that. We now have our data link flight plan loaded. It loads as a secondary flight plan. So we hit secondary flight plan, activate that, and execute the flight plan. Okay, that's in. We can now look at our departure, which is from runway 32. It's a direct to Pole Hill, so we can put that in. Departure, arrival, runway 32, execute. And at the moment in Bristol, we're expecting a Wethby 1 Bravo into runway 09, so we can put that in as well. Departure, arrival index, arrivals, Wethby 1 Bravo, into ILS 09. Execute. Great. Now let's have a look at the legs. Make sure there are no weird discontinuities. Only there, which is the final approach. We'll probably be self-vectoring anyway, so I'll leave that one there for now. Get rid of those messages. And let's do some perf. So we need some weather to do the perf. The fuel will calculate from the tanks. You just hit the delete key, put it over the fuel, 4330. Gets it from the tanks, which is great. Flight level 290, which is correct. Let's have a look at our passengers and cargo today from our sim brief flight plan. There we go, we've got 6 packs, 90 cargo. I'm going to put that in. That's 6 passengers and 90 cargo. Lovely, that's done. Then we can go to takeoff, for which we need some weather. So let's use the last weather that we received from SimBrief, unless Avatab has some. Sometimes Avatab pulls the weather, which can be useful. Let's have a look. EGNM. Yeah. I'll get it from over here, I think it's going to be easier. I'm zoomed in here, so moving around the cockpit is not easy. Okay, so here we are. 24th, 1450 Zulu, 0206 knots. So let's put that in. 020 and 6 knots. Outside air temperature 9 and QNH 1000, quite low. UK having some storms at the moment, can't remember the name of it. It was named by the Dutch, I believe. QNH 1000. And that's set. So we can now check that. Runway 32, yep, it's looking good. Wind 0206. Temperature +9, very good. Okay, so we can now move on to the next page. And those are our V speeds. Put the centre of gravity as 21. That's what we do in the Challenger. Put an arbitrary number in and send. They will turn magenta and they'll transfer up to here. As you can see, they're now there. Lovely. That's pretty much it done. We can get the route winds. Not sure if they are also suffering from this problem that NOAA have broken, but we'll try it. Flight plan wind update, send. Okay, so that is pretty much that. So we'll zoom back out now and wait for that wind update to come in. Great. Gloomy old day. Here's our airport diagram. So runway 32, so we're down here. So we're going to be taxiing to the right, Lima, and then backtracking all the way down. Okay. It looks like we may have a Leeds controller. Looks like we might well have a Leeds controller. Which is quite unusual, to be honest. EGNM. We've got our London North Centre are dealing with the departures. 133705. Okay. Very good. In which case we may be able to now get a weather forecast. If we have a London North controller, they should be the ones that are providing the ATIS. So just exec this here for a second. Okay, that's done. Let's just try that ATIS again. Now we have a controller online. still not available. Oh well, not to worry. Okay, well we're going to need to talk to him. So let's do our checklist. So the aircraft at the moment, the Challenger has an amazing system where you have an FBO, which you go and sign off for the aircraft, walk around the aircraft, pull all the pins out, covers and all that kind of stuff. But in VR that doesn't really work that great. So we're in a state now where we've done our kind of main checks in the aircraft, the flight compartment checklist, and we're about to do our before start check. So that'll be what we do next. I do that by pressing a button.
Set. Flight compartment checklist complete. Engine start checklist next. Engine start checklist.
Okay.
Doors.
So we'll wait to talk to this controller.
Parking brake and pressure. Checked and set. Fuel quantity and balance.
It's checked. 2130, 2190, 4320 total. That's done.
Checked. Beacon.
That can come on.
On. Fuel boost pumps.
They can come on.
On. Ignition.
We'll have ignition A.
Armed. Engine 2 start.
Okay, we'll do that in just a moment. Let's try and talk to this controller. We should be able to get up who's in range list. Again, everything in VR, you've got to assign a button. So I've got lots of buttons on my yoke and lots of buttons on the throttle. The throttle's as a Warthog, a Thrustmaster Warthog throttle, which has got so many buttons, very useful, and the yoke is a Boeing TCA. So London North Centre it looks like we've got to talk to, and that's 133705. So
Shuttle 3 November London Control, hello Roger, maintain altitude 5,000 feet on reaching, fly heading 170 degrees. 70 maintain 5,000, Shuttle 3 November. 621 Kilo, it's
the ATIS now.
1 Mike arrival for Manchester, descend flight level 80.
we should be able to get the ATIS then. He's publishing an ATIS, so let's go.
Arrival for Manchester, descend level 00, easy 6.
Turn that down a second. So we should be able to get the ATIS. Now if we go index, data link, ATIS, it's saying they've got an ATIS, but maybe not the digital ATIS. No, that's unfortunate, in which case we're going to have to listen to the ATIS, which is 118025.
Acknowledge receipt of information Alpha and advise aircraft type on first contact. Advise on initial contact, you have information. Alpha.
Alpha.
Bradford Airport information Alpha at time 1550 Zulu. Automatic. Runway in use 32 transition level 65 data link clearances are available. Departing aircraft make initial contact with London Control on 133.7, when 020 at 6, visibility 10 kilometers or more, 700 scattered, 1000 scattered, temperature 9er, 2.9er, altimeter 1000, acknowledge receipt of information Alpha and advise aircraft type on first contact, advise on initial contact, you have information, Alpha.
Roger.
Lufthansa Cargo 29 Echo Mike with you, final 360 inbound VATSIM.
The Cargo 29er Echo Mike London Control, good afternoon. Squawk 1776, Hotbed 1 Mike arrival for Manchester.
Book 1776 and Hotbed 1 Mike for Manchester, Lufthansa Cargo 29 Echo Mike.
Okay, let's talk to him then.
Sky Travel 6 Echo Lima, you have 22 miles for runway 07, descend to altitude 3,500 feet, Newcastle QNH 1001.
That's 3,000 feet, QNH 1001, Newcastle 53.
D527, contact London Control 127.105, bye-bye.
127.1054, you said 527, bye-bye.
London Center, good day, Lufthansa, over KLM 692.
Always the way when a controller comes online,
692
he's
London,
inundated.
Roger. For 3 November, resume our navigation direct Honolulu, Hotel Oscar November, climb now, flight level 170.
Oh no, Honolulu, up to 170, shuttle 3 now.
London Control, hello, November 5084 Victor, we're Challenger 650, Leeds Bradford, information Alpha received for clearance to Bristol.
November 5084 Victor, London Control, hello, standby.
Lufthansa Cargo 16 Romeo Bravo, we are approaching top of descent.
Lufthansa Cargo 16 Bravo, thank you. Descend flight level 180.
Lufthansa flight level 180, Lufthansa Cargo 16 Romeo Bravo.
November 5084 Victor, your clearance is to Bristol, Pole Hill 2 X-ray departure for runway 14, squawk 4467.
Pole Hill 2 X-ray, runway 14 and 4467 for 84 Victor.
November 84 Victor, correct. Report ready for push.
We don't require a push, but we're ready to start.
Start is approved. I don't have a temperature, unfortunately, but start's approved.
84 Victor, thank you. Right,
Travel 6
4467.
Academia, engine controlled airspace, radar control, fly heading 09 degrees, cleared ILS approach for runway 07.
So that's different. Pole 2 X-ray from runway 14.
7 Bravo Alpha, Leeds Bradford, Boeing 738, request clearance to Gdańsk.
Dematic 145, London Control, good afternoon, roger. Climb flight level 370.
Okay, that's all done.
Level 370, Dematic 145. 7 Bravo Alpha, London, hello.
Looks
Your
good.
clearance is to Gdansk. It's the Lannex 2 Whiskey departure for runway.
Right, let's get back with our start sequence. So we're up to start engine 2. So, start button pressed.
7 Bravo Alpha.
Start is lit. Looking for N2 to 20%. Then we'll add the fuel. Fuel is added. N1 rising, ITT rising. Looking good. You can see how invaluable their
system.
writing stuff down is. Fuel system check requires turning off both boost pumps. We'll see some errors now. Left fuel pump off, right fuel pump off, hydraulic 1 low pressure. And left fuel low pressure, that's what we're expecting to see, so we can return those on. Continue with the checklist.
Checked. Engine 1 start.
Engine 1 start, same procedure. Start is pressed. We're looking here for an N2 of 20%. We add the fuel. Fuel is added. N1's rising, ITT is rising. A good little tip for the Challenger settling down with a good start.
Engine
is
start
that
checklist complete.
Thank you.
After
Number
start
3,
checklist,
2,
next.
4, 6. You can see there 26, 406, 62. The first of those goes 2, 4, 6. That's a nice little easy one. They're going 2, 4, 6. All good. So
After
start
start
checklist.
Generator 1 and 2.
Generators
On, checked AC and DC. Ignition.
disarm the ignition.
Disarmed. Packs.
are on.
14th stage.
It's over here.
Open.
Open.
Flight controls.
Full and free.
Checked. Ground spoilers.
Auto.
Checked. Stowed. Auto. Flight spoilers.
Flight spoilers we can see moving here. And are stowed.
Checked. Stowed. Fuel balance.
2100, 2190.
Checked. Trims.
Trim those down a tad. We've got 5 there on the stabilizer trim. 4.8 will do us.
3 set for takeoff. No steer.
Is armed.
APR.
It's checked. Steering in up, that's because our nose wheel, I noticed outside, appears to be canted to the side a little bit. Have a look here, let me show you. For some reason we've got a 90-degree nose wheel. There she is. So we'll be able to remedy that hopefully. What a beautiful plane this is, look at that. Incredible. So, APR we've checked.
Checked. Armed. 14th stage isolation valve.
Checked.
ATS.
Auto throttle system, we press a button on the side of the throttle. We've got a button on our yoke to do it.
N1 TO.
N1
ATC TCAS.
TO.
TARA. After start
TARA.
checklist complete.
Okay.
Taxi checklist next.
Taxi checklist is next. Roger. Okay. That's all good then. So our taxi is to runway 14. So we're going to be turning on to Foxtrot and backtrack. By the look of it. It's Golf, it says there. Yeah, Golf Foxtrot.
Papa at flight level 180.
Let's set our PFD up. So speed,
Papa London Control, good afternoon.
which is up here. Setting that to 190. QNH is 1000. Set that. Again, all these are on knobs.
Echo Lima, warm welcome to Newcastle. Taxi via Delta, stand 12. Bye-bye.
Initial on the SID. Our stop altitude is flight level 70 at Pole Hill.
6956, runway 07, clear to land. The winds are 060 degrees, 7 knots.
1000.
07 clear to land, Eurowing
This needs to go to 1000.
Channel 525, passing flight level
And the
30,
co-pilot
landing
matches
down
the
to
pilots. Okay, that's good.
Station Ground, just confirm it's Chanex 525.
So we've got
Yes, sir.
190 knots. We've got FMS1
London, Roger.
as the navigation source. We've got our V speeds. V rotate is 125. Takeoff. We're going to have nav
Channel 525.
done 1000 millibars, 7000 feet stop altitude or flight level 70 as it will be. And we're set to go.
Alpha, Roger, taxi to holding point Alpha 1, runway 14.
That's another aircraft at Leeds, I think. So, taxi. November 84 Victor is started and ready for taxi from the multi-flight apron.
The 8 for Victor, taxi to holding point Foxtrot 1, runway 14.
Foxtrot 1 for 1484 Victor. It's there in the middle.
And Eurowing 6956, we are too high.
Okay, so this nose steer, we'll have to sort this out. So
6956, Roger, stand and missed approach.
parking brake off.
Going missed approach, runway 07, Eurowing 6956.
We'll try moving forward very, very slowly.
Alpha, continue to Unicom 122.8.
Now we should be able to get the aircraft going straight, which it is. Recycle that nose steer,
Okay, 295, request descent.
and we're sorted.
Done the cargo
Right.
to Echo Mike, Roger, descent flight level 290, level by
Okay,
Homestead.
taxi checklist.
Taxi checklist.
90 level
Taxi
by
lights.
Homestead, cargo 295.
On.
Level 2
Wing and
Papa,
cowl
wind ready,
anti-ice.
descent flight level 80.
Temperature we've got here.
Nordic 76 Alpha, continue with Unicron. Good evening.
Unicron Nordic 76 Alpha.
Temperature.
Apologies,
I think it might be quite cold.
Straight
It's
out,
9.
2 Papa second.
On to Papa, flight level 80.
So I think we will have wing and cowl anti-ice on.
Board on or off. Brakes and steering.
Steering was sorted, brakes are checked.
Checked. Reverse thrust.
Alpha 1 into Blackjack 1 from line up and report ready around the 7 Bravo Alpha.
Checked. Flaps 20.
Flaps.
Altimeters.
Are set.
Set and cross check. Radar weather.
Don't have that.
On. Takeoff briefing.
So we could do with that Pole Hill departure now, couldn't we? Departure, Pole Hill to X-ray.
You're ring 69056, you reach 2500.
So we're going to depart, make a left, it's correct, a right turn to Pole Hill, climbing to flight level 70.
Right turn heading 12, correction 210 degrees, climb to altitude 3,500 feet. Inspectors, VI, left runway 07.
So Foxtrot 1, hold point.
Negative altitude 3,500 feet.
Dreadful day.
Lufthansa Cargo 16 Romeo Bravo, descent flight level 8, direct to Boston.
Flight level 8 Alpha, please direct to Bravo. Lufthansa Cargo 16 Romeo Bravo.
He's going to backtrack ahead of us, the Ryanair. Unfortunately, it's a backtrack at Leeds for that runway. There he goes. Excuse me, not looking. Right, there we are. Foxtrot 1. Let's get rid of some of these things in the cockpit. It's all getting a bit cluttered in here.
China 7 Bravo Alpha, ready for departure.
American Bravo Alpha, runway 14, can take off with 0 degrees.
Reviewed. Taxi checklist complete. Before takeoff checklist next. Before takeoff checklist. Passenger signs. Advised on. Anti-collision light. On.
There
Probes.
goes the Ryanair.
On. Windshield heat. On. Wing and cowl anti-ice.
During 6956, turn right, heading 2.
Norm on or off. Continuous ignition. On. ATC TCAS. TARA. CAS. Takeoff config OK.
Contact Manchester radar on 118.575 for bias.
Check.
Yep.
Landing, pulse, recog lights. On. Before takeoff checklist complete. After takeoff checklist next.
Lufthansa Cargo 29 Echo Mike, descent flight level 160.
160, Lufthansa Cargo 29 Echo Mike.
Landing via main channel, descent 1, leading level 210 over 200, speed 300.
X271 at London Control, very good evening, descent flight level 140. Delta Cargo 16 Romeo Bravo, contact Manchester radar on 118 decimal flight 75, bye-bye.
Contact Manchester radar 118.575. Delta Cargo 16 Romeo Bravo. Space.
Runway 7 Bravo Alpha, report your passing altitude. Climb now, flight level 1. Question climb flight level 150.
Crossing 3,700, climbing flight level 150, Ryanair 7 Bravo Alpha.
Eurowing 6956, request visual approach for runway 07, right heading.
Eurowings 6956, roger, do you have the field in sight?
Runway inside, summative, 6956.
6956, thank you. Cleared for the visual approach, runway 07, number 1.
Clear for visual approach, runway 07, we are number 1, 6956.
November 84 Victor at the hold, Fox 1 for runway 14 at Leeds. Can we backtrack?
5084 Victor, Bar Foxtrot 1, enter backtrack lineup, runway 14.
Backtrack and line up runway 1484 Victor. Okay. Challenger doesn't have windscreen wipers, interestingly, in the real world either, so odd. On a day like this, you could do with them.
1325 London Control, good afternoon, clearance to Heathrow, Guernsey 1 Tango departure, score 6473.
Looking on finals, can't see very much, but we'll backtrack. What we can tell, it's clear.
Break channel 271, speed 250 knots or greater, descent flight level 80.
It's not the greatest of runways, this Leeds, so it's a little bit bumpy. We've had a blown tyre here in the past.
KLM 644 London Control, good afternoon, roger.
Okay.
Proceed direct position D-Bell, Delta India Bravo Alpha Lima. D-Bell KLM 644.
Wow, rain's getting heavier. Disconcerting when a real world TUI aircraft ended up off this runway only last week. Let's bring around.
Spell it again for KLM 644, can't find it. 644, no worries, it's Delta India Bravo Alpha Lima, and you can put that before land, so.
Okay, we're ready to go.
Yep, got it now, thank you.
Takeoff. 190, 7,000. V rotate 125. Nav is selected. Light transponder.
KC1 London Control, very good. Evening, descent flight level 140.
Eurowing 6956, established on fan track, runway 0.
6956, thank you. Runway 07, you clear to land. The surface wind 060 degrees, 7 knots.
Yes, cool, and runway 0.
Yellow here, by the way, means that we have anti-ice on.
Student 221, it's currently runway 05, right for landing. London, good afternoon, top 6, my 6,
We'll remind him.
700 stand 12, Newcastle.
Very busy when centre controllers control.
Standby, break runway 7 Bravo Alpha, climb flight level 370.
Centre controllers controlling other airfields on the ground. Difficult for them.
5084 Victor, runway
There we go.
14 cleared to take off. The winds at Leeds are 020 degrees 4 knots.
Clear takeoff runway 1484 Victor. Okay, we're ready to go.
271, report your speed to Manchester radar on 118 decimal.
Auto throttle is engaged.
Radar 119. That's 6902, continue Unicom, have a great evening.
Goodness me, hardly see a thing.
80 knots.
X-ray, cleared to Innsbruck, Guernsey 1 Tango departure, score 201.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up.
Gear come up. Whew. Follow the flight director. Flaps coming up.
28 Charlie when ready.
Autopilot is engaged.
1 ready descent to flight level 900, Shamrock Charlie.
Delta Cargo 29 Echo Mike, redirect.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear. Up. Flaps.
Rosen and descent will 20.
0. Thrust reversers. Off. Ignition.
The 221 speed
Off.
250 knots.
Pressurization. Checked. PAX transition.
221 correction speed 27.
Aircraft turning right.
Completed. N1. Climb set. APU generator. Off. APU.
Alpha Romeo, contact constant control.
Shut down. Passenger signs.
Number 5084 Victor, report your passing altitude, fly heading 200 degrees.
200 degrees, we're passing 5,000 feet.
Number 5084 Victor, roger, climb flight level 110.
Flight level 110 on a heading of 200 degrees, 84 Victor.
Control is free floating Alpha, speed 270.
On a heading of 200 to 110. Why is it on the heading so early?
On Alpha Auto. CAS.
Clear.
Clear. After takeoff checklist complete.
Standard barometer 1013. Climb at 250 knots. Looking good, unlike the weather. Okay, taking his way off the instrument departure here. We appear to have some traffic there.
X-ray, push and start and move into the cul-de-sac, QNH 1001.
Traffic.
November 84 Victor, we got a TCAS alert to our 10 o'clock.
And then the 84 Victor 8% traffic is indicating 1,000 feet above.
Roger, 84 Victor. Yep. There it is. I wouldn't have gone anywhere near him had he not taken me off the
340 Alpha,
route.
250 knots, descent flight level 90.
250, descent flight level 90,
Uber 221, report your speed to Manchester radar on 118.27.
Type to him. Yeah. Just typed him a response there.
Lufthansa Cargo 29 X Mike, descent flight level 80.
Down 80, Lufthansa Cargo 29 X Mike.
Alright, out of the top of the clouds we go. The right irritating thing about X-Pilot, that it pops up windows when you don't need them.
5084 Victor, receiver navigation, direct Carno, climb flight level 29.
Flight level 290 and own navigation, direct to Carno for 84 Victor. 290. And direct to Carno. So that's 29 is set. Let's do the direct first. Direct to Carno. Execute. Flight level change. And we're going to go VNAV. See, that's very irritating that that pops up there. I don't know how to stop it, to be honest.
EG340 Alpha, report to Steve to Manchester radar, 118.575. Call speed to Manchester radar on 118.
We now go to nav, go direct to Carno.
Rating 102, descent flight level 100,
Do that direct again. Okay, and we'll now go VNAV speed. Resume 270 knots, active. So we're direct to Carno, we're under VNAV climb. 270 is targeted, and that's all looking good.
Rock 28 Charlie, direct back, so descent flight level 118.
Lovely weather now.
Direct back, descent flight level 118,
Right, we can turn the aircraft noise down by putting on our Bose headset.
3102, report you.
There we go, much better.
Radar on 118.575. Bye-bye.
Great, all good. I think that's where we are in the world.
Chicago 29er Echo Mike, fly heading 230 degrees, descend, actually maintain flight level 80.
Let's see if we can get any weather for Bristol. I doubt it.
29er Echo Mike, reporter heading to Manchester radar on 118.575. Bye-bye.
Heading Manchester radar 118.575, times Chicago 29er Echo Mike. Goodbye.
Think we're going to get any.
Ryanair 2 Romeo X-ray check in, Sagan level.
Index, data link.
2 Romeo X-ray, thank you. Expect,
ATIS.
It's going to be runway 14 into Leeds unless the winds change drastically. Maintain flight level 230.
Don't think we're going to get this because I don't think there's any controllers on in Bristol. We'll see. No, not available. Unfortunate. There we are. So let's see if we can get some weather. EGGD. No weather information there, so we'll have to use the one that we originally got.
Z461 London Control, hello, climb now, flight level 190, turn left, heading
Okay, let's use the weather that we had from SimBrief, because that's all we've got at the moment.
121 Bravo, London, hello, stand by. Z461, turn left, heading 240 degrees, climb now, flight level 190.
So I can start putting that in. So perf menu.
Bird 121 Bravo, fly heading 255. It's the
Approach.
Offset 1 micromiles from Manchester.
EGGD. Wind. Last we had 1604 knots.
And 412, fly heading 020 degrees.
Bristol temperature was 12, 1000 is the QNH.
Bed 145, descend flight.
Looking like it's deteriorating as well.
Pneumatic 1 fan.
Temperature 12, QNX 1000. That really is annoying, that pop up.
Pneumatic 45.
Very annoying because it appears right in front of your face, which is the worst place it could appear.
821 London, hello, flight heading 0905, Mac, expecting Mallet 1 micron.
Okay, 1604 knots, 12, 1000. Next, there's our VREF send those.
84 Victor, continue to Unicom, have a great evening.
Was that 84 Victor for Unicom? Thank you. 84 Victor onto Unicom, and thanks for your service. Bye-bye.
Good 121 Bravo, Opmed 1 Mike, arrival for Manchester.
Okay, got rid of that. So that's very annoying. There's nothing you can do about that really, that pop-up. You can put it, like for example, that's it, and I can move that somewhere, but it won't stay there. That's the problem. As soon as somebody does a message, it moves, which is somewhat irritating. Anyway, back to the flight. We're approaching flight level 290, which is good. And in terms of in the world, that's where we are. Ellesmere. All good. Don't think we're going to have any controls at Bristol. Now be able to see ourselves. Here, there we are. That's us there, little orange aircraft. You're noting that it says displaying sectors at 28,000 feet, so it shows that we're about to leave his airspace and there's nobody to talk to. All the way down to Bristol. Very clever. Back glasses, very useful little program. Okay, well, in which case we could probably, there's not much of a corner to cut, we'll just do Vicano as promised. Let's have a look where our top of descent is likely to be. $7,000 at the Bristol VOR. Don't think we'll be going via the Bristol VR. I think we'll take our own. The top of descent in 11 miles anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to join those up. Then we can have a continuous descent down to 2,500. So we can now set that here to 2,500. That's our vertical profile, which will start to fall in just a moment as we get closer to the top of descent, just as we turn the corner. The program I'm using, the hardware that I'm using to operate all these autopilot controls as rotaries is called an X-Touch Mini, and it's literally a small box, not expensive, with 8 rotary controls, a slider, and 16 buttons, and each of the knobs has a button as well. So very, very capable little unit, and you can program that to operate the actual knobs in the aircraft. Absolutely brilliant. I have 2 of them, which is very helpful indeed. You've got to remember where things are though, so I count across, so I know that button number 1 or rotary number 1 is my heading, 2nd is the altitude, 3rd is vertical speed, 4th is my speed itself. So and then I've got my QN8 setting, a course for the for the VORs and ILS. So they're all on there. It's very, very helpful. We're now commencing our descent. We've just left flight level 290, as you can see. And that little vertical guidance path now is showing that we're on the path. We're descending at 2,000 feet a minute, so we can do our descent checklist.
Descent checklist. Shoulder harness.
Is secure.
Secure. Passenger signs. On or auto. Pressurization.
It's at sea level. That's fine.
Set. Fuel quantity and balance.
We've got 1780, 1890.
Checked. FMS, landing data, charts.
Yeah, we'll just do that now. So it's not going to be an arrival at Bristol, but we will be using. What weather did we have? We said it was. Let's have a little look here. Weather did we put in for Bristol? Approach 160 degrees at 4 knots, so it's hardly any wind, but we'll go for 09, I guess. That's 09 at Bristol. We'll put Bristol's ground charts just in case. We'll park over in the southern parking area. Okay, carry on with the checklist.
Programmed, set. Approach briefing.
So we're going to self-position onto this ILS, and we'll be using headings to self-position us. We'll see as we get a little closer.
Reviewed. VNAV transition flight level.
Is 6,000 feet.
Set. Descent checklist complete. In range checklist next.
Okay, that's good. Well, the weather's brightened up considerably after we've left Leeds Bradford. We can do our minimums, I guess. Let's have a look here. 813. So 813. That's refs. Barrow. $8.20 for cash. Done. Okay, very good. So definitely no ATC. You can see us there on the map, little orange aircraft heading down through Wales now, and nothing in Bristol. Look outside. This auto scenery, it's auto, which for X-Plane has been revolutionary. Beautiful. Absolutely works a treat. Okay, so that's all set up. Let's go to our legs page. So we're going in and on a Webby arrival, aren't we? So arrival, there's a Webby. There we go, just approaching the top of that now. So when we get to Ingur, we want to be heading around 230, 240. Let's see if we can be clever. Put Ingur 240. 0 radial, 20 miles. Put it after Inga. That looks good. Inga 1, there it is. That looks pretty good actually. Takes us to there, and then we'll go direct from there to the closing fix there. Centre fix. Inga 01, so we'll lose the Bristol VOR. Execute. That looks good. Very good. And let's have the Inga at 200 knots and 4,000. May not make this. Planning to do it at 6. Oh, that's going to manage it. It's good. Good, good, good. QNH. We need to set. We can pre-select that. It's 1,000. So we can come up here and select 1,000 as a pre-select. For some reason it thinks we're at in American terms, that's why it's flashing, but that's correct. VNav should start us down again. There we go. It's amended it. And we're down again. Great. So there's that new Inga position that I put in there. In fact, we could go from UBCAM direct to our new position. So let's miss out Inga completely. There we go. It's a much more direct route. And we can now do our what's called in-range checklist, very important.
In-range checklist. APU. Starter.
Start again.
Altimeters.
We are pre-selected.
3 set, cross-checked. Avionics.
Are set.
Set. External lights. On. N1 target.
This is very important. We need to go to the perf page, set a target for N1. 91% is good.
Set.
Or we can use the takeoff one if it's there.
APU PAX transition.
We'll now transition the PAX. Very important.
Avail completed. APU generator. On. CAS.
It's clear.
Checked. In-range checklist complete. Before landing checklist next.
Okay. This is good. Should start slowing the aircraft down now. Might need a bit of help from the speed brake, so I'll give it some speed brake just to get us down to our target speed here. Very good. Here we are. Going towards Cardiff Airfield, in fact. Speed coming back gradually. Very good. Check there's still no controllers. There isn't. There's an aircraft. So we're descending to an altitude now, so we can swap over the barometers out to QNH of 1000. It actually puts us below the profile, which is very helpful. Speed brake back up again. Looking good. Let's now check the ILS. It should auto-tune. That's always good to be on top of this. 110.15. It is in here as 110.15. Course inbound is 087. Rain. Forgot I had assigned a zoom. Okay, I'm going to go on a heading now. Synchronize the heading bug. And we're now on a heading. To Ingor. Speed 217 targeted. So the course is 087. Putting in here, gone the long way around there, haven't I? Okay, we'll continue on this heading off Ingor as the weather deteriorates again. There we are over there. Car's having trouble slowing down, so let's use the speed brake. Get it under the magic number of 231 knots, we can add our first stage of flap. Okay, there it goes, 230 knots, first stage of flap, 20 degrees. Coming in, can use the speed brake now. Start making a turn. Head south. And we'll go manual speed now. Slow to 180 knots. Give ourselves plenty of time. Can now change the nav over to localizer 1. 110.15 course 087 is checked. As the weather deteriorates again. Thousand to go. Next stage of flap. Wow, horrible weather. torrential rain. Okay. 1228. .21 miles out.
2500.
Okay. Turning in. Still no controllers. There's some traffic there, so I may warn him. Bristol traffic, November 8 for Victor, self-positioning for the ILS 09 at 20 miles. You can arm the approach. Approach localizer 1, Clyde slope is armed. Well, we left in poor weather and we're certainly arriving in poor weather. All looking good, 180 knots, 2500, 1000 QNH is set. We've got approach, localizer 1, glide slope armed. We've got the localizer tuned, there it is. We've got greens. Looking good. Our landing data. Shows we've got a V ref of 132 today. It's looking good. Missed approach, climb straight ahead to 3000, then as directed. So in a moment we can reset that to 3000. Wow, weather is very poor indeed. Okay, so in a moment we should start to see this localizer come in. Any moment now, in fact. There it goes. And turn to the inbound course of 087. There it goes. And the glide slope will come down shortly. We're at 12 miles. Another 2 miles to go and actually start to see that move. Horrible, horrible weather. Good. Taking their headphones off so you can hear the engine noises again. And there is the runway. Just the bank of cloud we went through there. Glide slope is still armed. It should start to move shortly. We are at a low capture here, 2500. So it should be about 6 or 7 miles. There we go. 7.5 miles. Starting to move. We'll go 160 knots, go 1 dot above, drop the gear, and we'll have our before landing checklist.
Before landing checklist. Landing gear lever. Down indicating. No steer. Arm center clear. Anti-skid. Arm on. Wing cowl anti-ice.
On.
On or off. Continuous ignition. On. Thrust reversers. Armed. Spoilers. Stowed auto. Flaps.
We're set. And full flap now.
Set. CAS.
Clear.
Checked. Before landing checklist complete. After landing checklist next.
Okay, so we're going to vacate to the right. Here's a nice thing in the Challenger. The heads-up display. We're now 3.3 miles. We're going to slow now to our VREF speed. 132. And basically the trick with this is to keep the circle there on the end of the runway. Set our missed approach altitude of 3000. Synchronise the heading
1000.
bug onto the runway heading. 2 reds, 2 whites. Autopilot is disconnected, spy aircraft. Wind very slightly from the right. 2 reds, 2 whites. Looking at the pappies now. There's the thing I was telling you, popping up, which is really annoying in front of you. Nothing to do with anything. Slightly high.
Minimums.
Land.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Spoilers. Braking. Ooh. Skid, skid, skid. Interesting. Wow. Never done that before. Live to tell the tale. Torval and Dean of the Challenger world. Okay, so where can we vacate here? Says we can vacate. This is for only business aviation to use. Okay.
After landing checklist. Landing, pulse, recog lights. Off. Anti-collision
That must have been
lights.
exactly what
Off.
happened to that TUI
Continuous
aircraft the
ignition.
other day.
Off. Windshield heat. Off. Probes. Off. Wing
At Leeds
anti-ice.
Bradford.
Off. Cow anti-ice.
We'll have maintenance look at this aircraft before we take it up again.
On or off. Spoilers. Stowed.
Stowed.
Flaps. 0.
0.
ATC TCAS. Alt on. Radar mode. Standby. After landing checklist complete. Engine shutdown checklist next.
Parking brake on.
Engine shutdown checklist. Taxi lights. Off. Parking brake. Set. Reverse thrust. Stowed. Generators 1 and 2. Off. Engine 2 shut down.
Can't grab hold of that for some reason. I don't know why I can't grab hold of that. Very odd. Well, we'll leave it there for now anyway. Well, that was an interesting experience. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again soon with another exciting Torvill and Dean skating at Bristol in a Challenger 650. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure of being here, and I hope you'll join me again at some other point. Thank you very much indeed.